Male Sport, with the help of our readers, is on a mission to find the greatest player of all time at each of the 20 Premier League clubs. Today it's the turn to look at the legends of Manchester United, from Sir Matt Busby's first captain Johnny Carey through Best, Law and Charlton to the class of '92 and Wayne Rooney. And once you've made up your mind who is all the best ever, it's time to vote. Manchester United's special place in the heart of our national sport was underpinned by the tragedy of the Munich air crash in 1958 that killed 23 people, including 8 players. Already hugely popular because of the Busby Babes, United have since become a virtual religion to millions of followers around the world. Johnny Carey was already at United when Sir Matt Busby took the manager's job after the Second World War and built an institution. Irishman Carey spent a total of 17 years at Old Trafford and captained Busby's new team that won the FA Cup in 1948 and the First Division Championship 4 years later. United started to develop the best youth system in the world, and Carey was the wise older head, knit it all together, a wing half with genuine ability on the ball. The most famous name among the Busby Babes wiped out at Munich was Duncan Edwards, described by teammate Bobby Charlton as the only player had ever met he felt inferior to in terms of ability. Edwards had the lot: strength, power, speed and technique. He spent 15 days after the Munich air crash fighting for his life before passing away, aged just 21. His death in particular was greeted with widespread national mourning. Charlton initially wanted to give up football because of the trauma of losing so many teammates. He was persuaded to continue to try and help keep the United legacy alive, and became the most popular Englishman in the world. Everything about Charlton, from his thunderous shooting to his gentlemanly conduct and even his comb-over, became part of the story. He won the World Cup with England in 1966 and 2 years later scored twice against Benfica in the European Cup final as United honoured the Busby Babes by finally winning the game's biggest club prize. Sir Bobby, who has a stand named after him at Old Trafford, died in 2023 aged 86, and thousands lined the streets in tribute. United in the 1960s became synonymous with glamorous, attacking football, with Charlton joined by George Best and Denis Law as the Holy Trinity. A statue of them together is at the stadium today. Best, the Belfast boy, was the first footballer to be treated like a pop star and was dubbed El Beatle after he destroyed Benfica in a 1966 European Cup tie, scoring against the same opponents in the final 2 years later. Before alcoholism forced a premature departure from United, Best was regarded as one of the greatest players in the world, with his natural ability to dribble past opponents a real crowd pleaser. Teammate Paddy Creran said the winger would give the fullback meant to mark him twisted blood. Law was recruited from Italian side Torino and nicknamed the King by supporters on the Stretford end. He made an immediate impact by scoring in the 1963 FA Cup final, United's first trophy post-Munich. He was so popular United fans even forgave him for a backheel goal for Manchester City against them when the team were relegated in 1973-74. Post-Busby, United famously went 26 years without being champions of England until Alex Ferguson's arrival heralded a new era of success and glory. Though United didn't have their most successful period in the 1980s, Brian Robson was revered as their Captain Marvel, a midfielder who made goals, scored goals and stopped goals. Fittingly, after winning 4 cup trophies, he was still at the club when they became champions again. Eric Cantona was the Maverick who became the final piece in the title jigsaw when he signed from Leeds during the 1992-93 season. A few months later, untied, were crowned with the Frenchman's flair seen as decisive. Cantona was born for the Old Trafford Arena, collar upturned with a penchant for important goals, like the winner against Liverpool in the 1996 FA Cup final that clinched the double. "He had a profound impact on us," acknowledged Gary Pallister, who won 4 Premier League gongs with Cantona. The famed class of '92, a talented generation of United Academy kids who went on to the historic treble together in 1999, developed under Cantona before becoming team leaders themselves. The pick was winger Ryan Giggs, whose 13 Premier League winners' medals between the ages of 19 and 39 hasn't been surpassed. Giggs burst onto the scene as a teenager whose speed and balance drew comparisons with George Best. The only player to take part in both of United's Champions League final successes in 1999 and 2008, adapted his game as he got older and ended up as an influential midfield player. The ultimate one-club man, he made a record club 963 appearances for United. If Giggs provided speed, Paul Scholes gave control to the United team. Physically slight and asthmatic, Scholes couldn't head or tackle, but few could run a match like him. Some of his spectacular volleys go down as the best strikes in United's illustrious history. When Fergie rebuilt a new team around 2005, it was based around the supreme talent of Cristiano Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney. There were eyebrows raised when United signed the unknown Portuguese winger to replace David Beckham, the most famous player in the world at the time. Yet Ronaldo filled the void and more amidst a blur of stepovers, spectacular free kicks and an insatiable appetite to improve his game. He won the Ballon d'Or in 2008 after winning the Golden Boot with 31 goals and still remains the only player to have been voted the world's best whilst in the Premier League. Rooney announced his arrival from Everton as an 18-year-old with a hat-trick in the Champions League against Fenerbahce. He went on to captain the club, become its record scorer with 253 goals and won 12 major trophies. In fact, he took Sir Bobby Charlton's goal records for both club and country, with Charlton acknowledging, "H is a true great."